We have Molly Helmuth. She is a young race car driver. She races down at the Evergreen Speedway. So she's here to tell you a little bit how she got where she is today. And, she's going to be here for a few more hours afterwards, so you want to come and talk to her. So with that, I'll let her take it away.
How's everyone doing today? So I'm very excited to be here because when I was little, I'd always come to the bite, and never would I thought that I'd be on this stage talking about something that I'm very, very passionate about, and that's being a female in the sport of auto racing. So how many of you guys would love to go 130 miles an hour competing against 30 to 40 other drivers? You guys? Yeah. So I was very, very fortunate enough to make my dream of being a race car driver into a reality. And when I was little, I'd go out to my local home track of Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, and I'd watch my uncle race his car, and I was just amazed at everything, how the cars drove, the speeds that they were flying at, the sounds of the motors, the smell of the race, everything. I was just intrigued with it all. So, but before that, I was very involved with other sports such as basketball, softball, gymnastics, soccer, everything. But I knew that being a race car driver would be the coolest thing in the entire world. So when I was 11, I got my first go-kart, and my dad, said, hey, let's just try it out. So I exchanged my jersey and my leotard for a race suit and a helmet. So I started racing again at 11, but a lot of people start racing go-karts at the age of 5. So can you imagine if you guys have grandchildren or, son or a daughter at the age of 5, can you imagine them driving a go-kart at the age of 5? It's incredible. But it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of passion, it takes an extreme amount of patience. When I first started, it was just my dad and I, and he wasn't a mechanic, and I had no knowledge of being a race car driver. So we got a lot of criticism, a lot of people saying, why is she out here? She shouldn't be out here. She's going to get hurt. She's going to get somebody else hurt. But I never took those words to heart, and I just kept pushing along because I knew that being a race car driver is what I wanted to do, and I wasn't going to have anyone tell me that I should give up and quit. So, it took me 3 years to get good at the sport. And for me, usually, when I'm not good at something right away, I give up and I quit. But then, I've always just been competitive in everything I've done. So when I got into full-size stock cars at the age of 14, I was competing against guys that were twice my age, 40-year-old males. And there were times where I wanted to take my helmet off and put it aside. However, I just realized that no one's going to stop me. And so I surrounded myself with a phenomenal support system, and those people were my fans, my family, my friends, my sponsors, and my teammates, and all those people together said, hey, we're going to do this together, and we're not going to give up and quit until you get to where you want to be, and that's in the top ranks of NASCAR. So many people today are waiting for me to fail, and I haven't had success in the past couple of years due to various reasons, but I know what type of driver I am, and I know that I'm just as good as any of those guys that are out there that I'm competing against. When I walk around, I look, kind of normal, just a small, petite female, but when I put on my race suit, people are amazed at, you drive that? I thought this was a male sport. So when I kind of take that out of consideration, and I were to say, hey, if I didn't put my racing on, I were just to get in my car, nobody would know that I'm a female driver. My car does not resemble a female whatsoever. It doesn't have pink on it, it doesn't have purple on it, it doesn't have anything. It's simply red and white. And so I just said, I just want people to be amazed. I don't want people to know that I'm a female. I want them to be, when I come out of the car, I want them to say, hey, you drive that? Because I know who I am. They don't need to know that I'm a female. They don't need to judge me by the way that I walk, the way that I talk. I'm a race car driver. I deserve to be out there just like any of my competitors. And many people have thought that I've been handed everything to me in my life. Through my sponsors, a lot of people say, hey, she's got all the sponsors she's won. But I've had to work 10 times as hard to get those sponsors to support me. And I also am very petite, and I have to work out physically to gain the upper body strength that the other guys that I compete against have. I'm also very judged all the time. If I were to make a mistake on the racetrack, it's usually on the social media within 5 to 10 minutes. Whereas if a guy were to make the same mistake as me, most likely wouldn't be up there. So envious of me through this entire journey of making myself into a race car driver. But I take all those envious people and I turn them into positive people, because one day I want to be able to look them in the eye and say, hey, because of you, I didn't give up. So thank you. My name is Helmuth. I'm 19 years old from Seattle, Washington. I'm 5'1", 105 pounds, and I am a race car driver. And I'm here to tell you all that you guys can do anything that you want to do, as long as you surround yourself with the people that support you and believe in you, and as long as you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything you want, because nobody can tell you that you should give up and quit. So thank you.